Here we go now.
Go now. Here we go now. Guys, let me know if you can hear me, see me, all that good stuff. Welcome to Tuesday Takeover here on the KEMPIRE YouTube channel. We're also live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch, Twitter. We're live. Where else are we live? We're live here, okay? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Just when I thought I had everything, I thought to myself, like, oh, wait, I didn't pull up one of the videos that I wanted to talk about. I'll have to just play the audio for you guys. But if you haven't already, be sure to like today's video. Thank you to almost 70 of you that have already liked the video on YouTube. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you're following us though, guys, on Facebook, The Kempire on Facebook, Kempire Daily on Facebook. We also go live on Twitch. So be sure to follow us on Twitch at The Kempire on Twitch. And don't forget, you can also watch our live shows and other content now exclusively on TheKempire.com. So there's a lot of new stuff going on the website. We're still working out some little bugs and things like that, guys. But you can now go to TheKempire.com and see all the good things that we're working on, from our merch to our blog to you can actually watch our videos there. You can watch the live stream there right now. You can watch our content and everything like that there. Also, don't forget to join the mailing list, TheKempire.com/join. Go to that direct link and you'll be able to join our mailing list because you're already missing out on a lot. Shout out to the over 1,000 of you that have joined the mailing list since we started. So thank you to all of you. Hope you're enjoying the mailing list experience, being a part of Kempire's inner circle. Okay. All right. Bianca says, I can't wait for the Real Housewives of Rhode Island reunion recap. Well, we're going to get into that in just a second. But I do have, because as you know, with Tuesday Takeover, we talk about a bunch of hot topics, including pop culture news, and we also talk about some reality TV news. Last night, we did go live and talk about some other hot topics that I didn't get a chance to talk about, including Lisa Hochstein, the charges against her. Remember, Lenny accused her of recording him during their divorce proceedings. So those charges have since been dropped. She went through a program and she got those charges dropped. She's since released a statement. If you missed it, we did go live last night and we talked about that. We also talked a little bit about Clive Davis, but we're going to talk a little bit more about Clive Davis today because people feel conflicted when it comes to Clive Davis passing away because they're waiting for his day of reckoning. Well, I mean, at this particular point, that's up to God and look, I mean, but there are a lot of old stories that are coming up about the complicated history of Clive Davis. We'll talk about that and so much more. Thank you, Lakia. Lakia says, yes, the mailing list is everything. I like doing it because it feels like a personal letter between me and you guys, the mailing list. So especially when I did my birthday trip, I really enjoyed creating that mail. I mean, it took me a lot because not only am I, developing the content of it and also living the life to create the content, but then it's also formatting it, like the working with the particular program that we work with, trying to format that so that it works, it looks proper and all that kind of, it's a lot. It's a lot of work, but I enjoy doing it. All right. Lakia says, yes, our Jamaican sister is vindicated. Oh. As always, we always start a Tuesday takeover with some good news. So what is your good news today? I want to hear from you guys. Did you get a new job? Is it summer vacation? Are you on a sabbatical? Do you have a trip plan? Are you celebrating your birthday? Happy cancer season. Shout out to all the people celebrating a birthday today. What's my good news today? I had a good meeting with my financial advisor. Because I told you this yesterday. When we were talking about Kelly meeting with her financial advisor, I've known my financial advisor though for years. Okay. This was a new guy that Kelly went, oh, Kelly. Oh, whoa, Kelly. Oh, damn. Every time I think of Kelly now, this is all I think of. I think of this damn greased up latex outfit. But the latex of it all just was not greased up properly. Every time. I'm sorry, Kelly. I just had to keep bringing it up because that's every time I think of it. I don't even think about the Tom Ford shirt that you wore. Honestly, this is not even that bad in comparison to this. Oh, damn. Oh. And everyone else is calling you out for saying that you don't wear sneakers. And I told you guys yesterday, I'm sure some of these folks are watching this content. I said yesterday, I went to her Instagram. I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw you wear sneakers to that dentist appointment. And then I scrolled a little bit further back and I said, oh, I'm pretty sure those are sneakers that you were wearing when you were hanging out with your daughters. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you could still wear some high-end sneakers, and I'm sure you do wear high-end sneakers, but I think you wanted to have a moment. You almost had a moment and broke your ankle trying to play basketball in those heels. Come on, girl. But it's okay. I'm not here to hate on Kelly because she's a Pisces. I'm kidding. I just know the Pisces get in their way. Okay. Oh, Lakia says, my good news is not only did I win tickets for Brooke Ashley's show, but I found the perfect outfit. Excuse me. I guess I'll see you there, Lakia. I guess I'll see you there. I can't wait to see your outfit. Guys, don't forget to support our girl, the Brooke Ashley. Her live show is July 15th, right? Why do I keep saying it? And you guys never confirmed for me. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's July 15th. That's a Friday, right? Go get your tickets today. And don't forget our friends, C. Diggy and Alexander Rogers also have their live show, both at the Green Room 42 on August 1st. And then, of course, to end the summer out, I'm bringing the live show back to the Green Room 42, September 25th. Ticket information is now available in the description. But if you can't make it to New York City, you can get the live stream. Okay? All right. Oh, yes, guys. So look at my Knicks shirt. For those that are watching on YouTube, this is one of my Knicks shirts that I got. Okay? You see the smoke in the Knicks part? Yes. Y'all want the smoke? Okay. And don't be afraid to come to these live shows, guys. Just a reminder, don't be afraid to come to these live shows on your own. I see a lot of people say, like, I'm scared to kind of come on my own. And then every time we have a live show, I say, no, you should come on your own. And the people that end up doing it, they're like, okay, all right. I actually made friends. Literally during the meet and greet, someone told me, like, oh, I made a friend and she introduced me to her friend. And I was like, I like that. Thank you, Vicky. Vicky says I like that shirt. I got it from the NBA store. Thank you, NBA store. I mean, they didn't pay for it. Why am I thanking them? If they sent it to me as swag, I'll be like, all right. Thanks, Swollen. Swollen says she likes it. The V-Life says she loves it as well. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right, so back to this. What's y'all good news? I want to hear the good news, y'all. Okay, what's my good news today? I had a good meeting with my financial advisor. We just were very in tune. Because, sometimes when you meet with your financial advisor, you get like, okay, this is why I was trying to give some grace to Kelly when she was meeting her financial advisor, but then I saw what she was spending her money on. I was like, I don't do that. I'm not spending $13,000 a month on my styling and hair and makeup. Well, I don't have hair, but if I did, I still wouldn't be spending that amount of money. And I'm always on camera. I'm on camera more than she's on camera. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on camera 265 days of the year. Okay? No, I'm definitely on camera more than that. You know what I mean? So I should be looking better than this. Okay? That's why I have to, give you a nice shirt, a nice top. And then when y'all see a full fit situation, I'm gonna have to start wearing proper pants or pom-pom shorts. Okay? Winter says, my good news is I'm alive. Well, Winter, amen to that. Debt free is my good news, Tanya says. I like that. I definitely like to hear that. You know who's not? Pinky Cole. You know who's not? I'm going to show you her picture. Kelly Farrell. And look, I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious. I wish them both the best. You know, we've talked about this before, especially them being restaurateurs. It's a process. There's a lot of ups and downs. A lot of your favorite millionaires, billionaires, if you have any, a lot of them gone through the ups and downs when it comes to their finances. They just don't tell that story. You know what I mean? So I appreciate them telling that story. I would love to see them have both of them, both Kelly and Pinky, have a full circle moment and be successful. Because from what I've heard, first of all, from what we've seen, Pinky's businesses have just boomed when she first launched them. And then Kelly, y'all always tell me the Nana's chicken and waffles are really good. I'm not really that interested in chicken and waffles together, but and I almost tried to get it when I went there for my live show in Atlanta, but I just their timing, the time I landed and everything like that, it just didn't work out. But so many of you said you should get it. It was really, really good. Maybe the next time I'm in Atlanta. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be in Atlanta. I know you guys want me to be. I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe if it's still open. Damn. Kidding. I hope. Look, wishing her the best. Wishing her the best. Okay. Calm down. All right. Welcome back to our Tuesday Takeover, guys. All right. Since we're talking about Atlanta, can we talk about Big Tigger? Ooh. We had some breaking news right before the live. This is why sometimes Tuesday Takeover, I always have to switch things up. So I saw this in the news that Big Tigger was arrested. Big Tigger, according to WSB-TV, Big Tigger pushed wife, sending her headfirst into a door, warrant says. Can I just say something? And I'm not saying anything. I don't know anything for fact. But there have been rumors about Big Tigger. That's all I'm going to say. For years. So when I see a man be aggressive with women, there's a whole psychology conversation about why some of these men are brutal to women. And it's because they haven't come out of the closet with their truth. I'm not saying that's Big Tigger. I'm just finding this very interesting when we look at this story. So according to Scott Flynn at WSB-TV, he writes, longtime Atlanta radio host Darian Morgan, a.k.a. Big Tigger, who's better known as Big Tigger, has been arrested on battery and cruelty to children charges. Coco says, I'm getting what you're putting down, Kemp. Thanks. All right. According to the arrest affidavit from May, Morgan and his wife, Alicia Brown, were in an argument in their bedroom over text messages he had received from a female coworker. Okay. Brown told police that the back and forth text messages from her husband and the coworkers had been going on for a couple of weeks. Hold on, let me pull this down. That's when Brown said that Morgan began raising his voice, yelling at her, "You're psycho." Brown said that Morgan then pulled out his phone and began recording her. Oh my goodness. Brown said that she tried to grab the phone from Morgan's hand and then he tackled her to the floor to get the phone back. During the incident, Brown said that she ended up with a small bruise to her lower lip. Brown said that she then went down to the basement inside their Sandy Spring home, which is where they work from home. She said that Morgan followed her down to the basement office, saying, "I will show you, psycho," Brown yelled at Morgan as she unplugged a computer from the wall, affidavit said. "I helped purchase this equipment for the two of us." Brown said that when Morgan came up behind her and grabbed her arms and told her to stop, Brown said that she told Morgan to leave me alone and take your hands off of me. That's when Brown said that Morgan used force to move the victim and shove the victim, causing the victim to stumble headfirst into an office door. The report says that Brown sustained a deep cut above her left eye. I mean, first of all, to get any cuts around your eye is so dangerous because it could have been your eye. Sidebar, Tanya says, I hate basements. You know, someone else told me that recently. I was like, I mean, I kind of get it, why you don't like a basement. But at the same time, I'm like, that's an interesting phobia. But I know someone that has a phobia like that. All right. So they continue in this report in regards to Big Tigger. For those that are just joining us, apparently Big Tigger was arrested back in, I think they said this report is from a few weeks ago. So that's when Brown said that Morgan used force to move the victim and shove the victim, causing the victim to stumble headfirst into an office door. The report says that Brown sustained a deep cut around her left eye. According to the affidavit, the incident began, the two was all caught on their Ring security system. Brown ended up going to a Dunwoody urgent care where police were ultimately called to investigate. She was then taken to Grady Memorial Hospital because of the severity of the cut, the affidavit said. Brown initially was not cooperative with police and told them, "I was afraid of what Morgan might do to me, and because he is a well-known celebrity and nobody would believe me." Hey, Data. Data had been here in a hot second. He says, "Was a coworker Shamea?" No, they have not been coworkers for a while. Was a coworker Shamea? Oh, damn, Shamea. Oh, damn, Shamea. Okay, so according to the affidavit, the incident between the two was all caught on the Ring security cam. Brown ended up going to the Dunwoody urgent care where police were ultimately called to investigate. She was then taken to Grady Memorial Hospital because of the severity of the cut. They said it was a deep cut near her left eye. Brown initially was not cooperative with police and told them, "I was afraid of what Morgan might do to me because he's a well-known celebrity and nobody would believe me." The cruelty to the children charges comes from the fact that the couple's 13-year-old son was home during the fight and heard everything happen. In the last couple of weeks, Morgan addressed on social media during his radio show what he called significant public discussion and speculation regarding his personal life.
Good morning, Atlanta.
I completely missed this.
Extremely privileged to be here this morning, back at work. Over the past several days, there's been significant public discussion and speculation regarding my personal life.
And he's posted this on his social media, Big Tigger.
I understand this can happen being a public person. I've been doing radio now 32 years and television for 29. I appreciate, first and foremost, the support and concern that so many people have shown. I want to say categorically, these allegations and accusations that have been circulating about me are false, untrue, not happening, didn't happen.
So how did the deep wound happen?
Additionally, it's important to clarify that Francesca and I have never been anything more than friends and respected colleagues.
So that's the person that allegedly he may have been texting with that caused an argument between the two.
I'd like to apologize to you, Francesca, for the impact of these last few days or this last week. I hope you accept my apology. Out of respect for everyone involved, I ask for grace, privacy, and restraint as my family navigates this difficult moment. For more than 30 years, I've had the privilege of serving this in many communities through music, entertainment, and connection. I remain grateful for the trust so many of you have.
I'll say this because I'm watching the video that he posted on his Instagram. You guys can watch it there. This is Big Tigger from the Big Tigger Show. His body language is telling me a little bit of like he's not 100% telling the truth. We're not body language experts where we pretend to be here on the channel. He's doing this. He's fiddling with his wedding ring as he's saying this. Like he's moving it back and forth in a nervous way. I'm not saying that means anything, but read between the lines.
Placed in me throughout that journey, and I intend to continue living and leading in that manner, worthy of that trust. And to all the people who have either quietly or loudly stood up and stood 10 toes for me, I appreciate it.
Here's the thing. I'm sort of like, you remember, it's unrelated, but it's Atlanta related. When Dr. Gregory said that he couldn't stand 100% behind what Dr. Damon may have or may have not done. I can't stand behind someone that I don't live in your house. So I don't know what goes on between you and your partner. And again, things happen. People have arguments. The physicality of this is what's concerning. But he's denying all allegations.
For the people who have reached out to check on me, I appreciate you. No name dropping necessary. You know who you are.
So that's the message that he posted on social media. And he posted in the caption, he says, official statement, over the past several days, there has been a significant public discussion and speculation regarding my personal life. I understand this can happen when you're a public figure, and I appreciate the support and concern that so many people have shown. I want to say categorically that these allegations and accusations that have been circulating are false. Additionally, it's important to clarify that Francesca and I have never been anything more than friends and respected colleagues. I'd like to apologize to her for the impact of these last few days. Does he not apologize to his wife? Exactly. Beatrice said exactly what I was just thinking. No apology to the wife, no addressing the wife in this statement. Out of respect for everyone involved, I ask for grace, privacy, and restraint as my family navigates this difficult moment. For more than 30 years, I've had the privilege of serving my community through music, entertainment, and connection, and I remain grateful for the trust so many of you have placed in me throughout that journey. I intend to continue living and leading in a manner worthy of that trust. Sidebar, speaking of the Shamea of it all, remember Shamea and them said that they were sort of let go from the Big Tigger show unceremoniously, saying that he was allegedly a part of the problem. That's why, because the show was actually doing well. I don't know. I don't listen there in Atlanta. The show was doing really well with her and Miss Pat, and then all of a sudden they were unceremoniously let go because of him, allegedly. That was the rumor on the street. Coco says subpoena those text logs. I don't know. I feel like his statement doesn't address the accusations. And again, these are possible charges that he could face, so he really probably can't say too much. However, I feel like if you're going to put out a statement, I mean, he does deny that the allegations and the rumors, but look, there are all kinds of rumors. There's one thing when we hear the stories from what the police report is saying, and then what people will exaggerate online, what exactly is false? Okay. And here's the thing too. A lot of times, do I believe that this is the first incident that's ever happened between them that might have been this crazy? No, I don't believe that this is the first time. I think it may have escalated to a point where police were involved, and that's why it's been exposed. However, I feel like she's also going to, if you hear from the wife saying like, oh, nothing happened, or she drops the charges. Look what happened with Rula. We see this all the time when it comes to domestic situations. Not to say that's what's happening here, but I'm still keeping my other eye on the situation because we've seen this happen before when someone's in a DV situation. Tyree says Miss Pat alluded that he was a bully. Yeah. Apparently the show was doing well with Miss Pat and Shamea and all of them, and then all of a sudden they didn't have a job. Because maybe he has a lot more weight because he's been there the longest. He has a lot more weight in regards to who's going to be on his show. And apparently, sometimes especially with these radio figures, if they bring on like sidekicks or co-hosts and things like that, they want to be the main ones to shine. They don't want anyone else to shine. So it wouldn't shock me that maybe he felt like they were outshining him. Miss Pat is hilarious. Shamea is a lot. Okay. So I can imagine her being a lot in the work environment. So who knows? Oh, I forgot about that. Keisha Knight poem and him dated for years. When were they dating? I can't remember. Y'all remember that old photo? And this was before AI. Okay. This is way before AI, before any of y'all say that this was AI. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the photo. And for those that know what photo I'm talking about, y'all just nod your head, okay? Just nod your head. Let me see if I can find the photo. Look, nod your head. If y'all know what photo I'm about to pull up. Hold on. I'm just trying to find like a good quality photo of it. Anyone else know what photo I'm about to pull up? Hold on. Let me see. Damn, this is not a great quality photo. Oh, yeah, here's a picture of him and Keisha. Keisha's so pretty. Keisha Napoleon from The Cosby Show. She's so pretty. Sorry. I digress. Tanya says, I know the photo. Let me just show y'all the photo real quick. This is between us, right? Nobody else is here? Look, nobody else is here? Y'all see this? And if you're listening to the poor kid, this photo circulated for years with Big Tigger. He was very flexible, okay? So there's been all kinds of, thoughts on Big Tigger for years, okay? But I don't know. Okay, photo. I can't even do that. Look, I can't even. Latoya says, me nodding, saying, yup. Y'all remember this photo? Coco says, I love Tuesday Takeover. We can be extra messy. I'm just saying, I am a man of a particular age and I remember the things. Okay, Elephant Brain is working. All right. Speaking of Pride Month, don't forget, guys, we are raising money here for the LGBT Center, a fantastic community center that I've had solace in over the years. Some of you have shared your stories of going to the community center and you're not even a part of the Ligga Bigga Tigga crew. Not Ligga Bigga Tigga crew. That just worked. WIHD says, I'm picking up what you putting down. Okay. Don't forget, guys, we're raising money, though. We're raising money for the LGBT Center. Donate what you can. Share our videos so that people can donate as well. You check out any of our latest videos, you'll be able to find a donation link. Here, we will post the donation link after our live, all right? Be sure to like today's videos, an easy free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We went live last night, and the podcast version of us talking some hot topics is available on the KEMPIRE podcast. So be sure to subscribe today if you haven't already. Amar says, happy Pride. I'll take it, all right? All right, so I wanted to talk about that. So Big Tigger has released his statement, has spoken out. All right, let me get to some other stories that I wanted to talk about. Or maybe do I want to go into, we'll get back. Okay, we'll get back to some of the other stories. Before we do any of that, thank you so much, Izzy. Izzy said, I donated. DB says, happy Pride. Thank you so much, guys. CG says, he said, speaking of Pride Month. Okay, just saying. Tyrese says, Kemp, there's a lot of suspicious information about this story. They've been battling online for weeks. Big Tigger and his wife. Yeah, I feel like I've seen some of that. So what that says to me, that there is a lot of smoke in regards to it. And I really do feel as if this probably isn't the first incident that has happened over there. But everyone's innocent until proven guilty. All right. Okay, so Olson said his wife and changing up her story. Here's the other thing, too. When someone's in a DV situation, that happens a lot, too. Here's the thing, too, what I've noticed, and I'm not saying that about our community. What I will notice online, there will be a lot of other women that won't believe women. And this is why they don't come out. Just saying. So just let's give grace, especially when we're talking about a DV situation. There's a whole psychology behind why people don't come forward, why they start changing their story because of public pressure. So just keep that in mind. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley says she likes my Knicks shirt. All right. Let's rewind back. I do want to say thank you to MyFitnessPal for sponsoring today. A real MyFitnessPal life moment. I was literally on my evening walk this week and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I should sync my Apple Watch and my health app to MyFitnessPal. That is just one of the 40 apps that you can sync to MyFitnessPal. As you know, I've been using MyFitnessPal for a while now, but I've been really digging into the premium features recently. It has taught me so much about calorie deficits. But what I loved the most was the fact that I could track my water intake. I can track literally how many steps I've taken for the day. I can track all of my workouts. Everything is connected in one place in the MyFitnessPal app. Your food, your activity, everything in one place. Because at the end of the day, your nutrition is the foundation for everything. Your energy, your sleep, your recovery. But of course, I've always gotten you a discount. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use code KEMPIRE, all uppercase, for 15% off premium. Trust me, set it up once and you're good. More information on MyFitnessPal will be available in the description. And we're back. Shout out to MyFitnessPal for sponsoring and being a proud sponsor of the channel. We appreciate them. Again, be sure to check out. I've been using MyFitnessPal, again, on and off for many years, but I've been loving some of the updates that I've seen in their new updated app, especially with the premium features. Again, be sure to check that out. You can try it out, get your 15% off right now. All right. I see Money Long was on Good Morning America. For those that don't know, Data, are you still here? Data remembers Money Long has been on Kempire Radio. I've interviewed her before she was Money Long, when she was Priscilla Renee, before she even had a record deal. I was interviewing her on the channel. She had called in for my birthday. So we go way back, okay? Money Long. And I even back then, I saw what an incredible, talented songwriter and singer she was. She then went on to have a very illustrious songwriting career. Then she became Money Long. And now you guys know her as an artist. Well, as you also know, she was on tour with Brandy and Monica for the Boys Mind tour, but she had taken some time off. She couldn't finish the tour because of her health. And so she's talking about it on Good Morning America. And this is what she had to say. Hold on. Let me mute this.
Right.
Sure.
So I'm taking
Hold
pictures
on.
and I'm like huffing and puffing like I just ran a marathon. And so I knew something was wrong. And when I woke up in the hospital, I felt so much better. Obviously, they had done whatever they needed to do to just kind of get me stable. But then all the doctors came in. It was like 6 people: a pulmonologist, rheumatologist, there was like 3 pulmonary doctors, the ECMO specialist, actually the doctor who invented it, Dr. Maybauer. And they're all like, you need a transplant. And I'm like, well, it sounds like you guys have a time.
A lung transplant, y'all.
Like, how long do I have to live? And they go, a week.
A week to live.
1 week. And my jaw dropped. Literally, I was like, that's rude, you know? But they were kind of like just wanting me to like, hey, this is not a joke. You need to make a choice.
Can you imagine, as a singer, your lungs are so important when it comes to breath control. And mind you, she was just on a national tour, and they're talking about you need a lung transplant.
You can either go to hospice or you can get these lungs.
And for anybody, being told that is just, but you're a singer. Yeah. You're, but being a singer as well. What was that playing in your mind as well?
It absolutely was. Like, the ego and the vanity was just like, but what about my voice? You know, what's going to happen? But then, I look at my son and I think about like how much more life that I have to live. And I think just quality of life was first. And with this industry, you're always in people's faces, right?
Sure.
So I'm taking pictures and I'm like huffing and puffing like I just ran a marathon.
Okay, so hold on. I want to pull up and this is from our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. They write, neighbors, Money Long is opening up about a medical scare that led to a double lung transplant after doctors told her that she had only a week to live. This also comes from, you have to think as well, she also suffers from lupus. So during an interview with Good Morning America, Money revealed that her health began declining while she was on the Brandy and Monica The Boys Mind tour. The singer, who has lupus, admitted that she pushed herself to keep performing despite not feeling well. I should have never taken that tour, but there was so much going on in my life where I had to do it. I wonder if she's talking about financially. Things got worse after she returned home from the tour and was hospitalized. She said that doctors told her that she needed new lungs and had just 1 week to live. My jaw dropped. Literally, I was like, "That's rude." But they were kind of like, "This is not a joke. You need to make a choice. You can either go to hospice or you can get these lungs."
Happened after my new iPhone 17.
Hold on.
And so,
Pro Max.
Sorry, y'all. This thing is just moving around.
I knew something.
So I'm glad that she decided to take the time that she needed. It's so unfortunate that so many people will prioritize making money, working because they have to. They can't take time off. This is a bigger conversation when it comes to our medical system and healthcare in this country, because I know people that aren't Money Long, that are not going to the doctor, not following up on what your doctor has told you because you're like, I have to work. I can't take time off. The doctor's telling you like, you need to have this surgery. You're like, I can't afford to take time off. I can't afford to be down, several weeks. So the fact that Money Long, who everyone is assuming is making all kinds of money and doing this, making, residuals, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I took the tour because I needed to take the tour. If you read between the lines, you know what that means. Artists nowadays, unless you're streaming like Rihanna or Beyonce, you're not making a ton of money. And yes, she gets probably good residuals from the songwriting too, but that takes months too to end up getting. So we wish her the best. I'm glad to see that she did end up getting some new lungs, and hopefully this will be.
And with this industry, you're always in people's
hold on, y'all. Let me just all these things going on behind the scenes over here. Let me just close that out. All right. Let me bring up what else I wanted to talk about. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is our Tuesday takeover. I guess we can also start getting into Real Housewives of Rhode Island reunion part 1. If you guys had to rate the reunion part 1 from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I thought that it was good. And I'm glad that it's only 2 parts, because I feel like even in part 1, we covered a lot, but there's not a lot that we need to cover in part 2. You know what I mean? So I feel like they've given us just enough. And as I said before, I feel like maybe it was 2 more episodes than we needed for the season. I feel like we probably could have did a solid 10 episode season and give us a 2-part reunion. But that's me. How did you guys feel? I haven't seen what you guys have been saying in regards to the episodes, but I felt like it was decent. I did take some notes because there are some things that I wanted to highlight. First of all, what did you think about their reunion looks? After seeing their reunion looks in motion and live, how did you guys feel about their reunion looks? Do I have their reunion looks here? Hold on. No, I don't. I thought I did. But apparently I don't. It's all right. I still think Ashley looked really great. Rula's outfit looked good, but what did you guys think of Rula's new nose? It was definitely giving Jennifer Aiden. You have to keep in mind, though, when you get a nose job, a rhinoplasty, it takes like a year for it to fully heal. And I don't think she's had a year for her nose to fully heal. So, because it hasn't been a year. I mean, I guess it has been a year since they filmed the show. So I don't know when she got it. She also said she got a lip tuck or something like that as well. It just looked weird from the side. From the front, it didn't look as bad. And then when you compare it to her previous nose, I was like, okay, I could see what they did. But it from the side, it just gave a little, it was definitely giving Jennifer Aiden. Okay. Yeah, so who else would be reunion? I feel like everyone, I still didn't really love Alicia's look, but it was okay. It was all right. I didn't love her look. But I feel like for their first reunion, they all did fairly well. I did not love Liz's look, because remember, we only got to see a side profile of her outfit. I felt like that it was just okay. She's like, I feel like, it looks like Mother of the Bride. And they're like, oh no, you look beautiful. No, it was definitely giving Mother of the Bride. Tyrese says, I love how Rula was transparent about her nose job. I think she had to be, though. There's no way that Rula could have came out there and be like, no, I didn't do anything. Her nose was dramatically different. You know what I mean? I mean, if anything, it didn't change her face completely. Some people, you get a nose job and your face looks completely different. But I don't know. Look, her body, her choice. I didn't love how it looked from the side, though. That side angle was kind of like, ooh, that looks stiff. Okay. Superstar 7 says that nose was sharp. Okay. CG says, who is Jennifer Aiden? I didn't watch the show. I just like Kempire. Real Housewives of New Jersey. Jennifer Aiden. That she's no longer on there. Okay. Savannah says they need to stop lying to Liz. They're scared of Liz. Wouldn't you be scared of Liz as well? I don't know why they're scared of Liz. Is it the mob allegedly affiliation? Is that why they're scared of Liz? And she's not even Italian. We found that out during the reunion. She's not even Italian. She's like part Irish. All right. Winter says it's very pointy, very Caucasian nose. I guess that's what she wanted. But she's Syrian, right? Isn't she Syrian? All right. Moving on from there. So I felt like everyone's reunion looks still fairly nice in person. I still loved Kelsey's look as well. Didn't really love Kelsey during this reunion, though. Did y'all see Kelsey during this reunion? Poor Kelsey. I will give it to, what's her name? Rosie, for basically shutting her down effortlessly. I was not ready for that. I did not expect that. I just have to play this, because here's the thing. I'm just going to say this in regards to Rosie and Kelsey and their quote issues. I believe Kelsey started this. I don't believe Rosie was feeling competitive with Kelsey. I do think that they are probably more alike than they are different. But Kelsey decided to jump on some sort of issue with Rosie this season. We've been saying this entire season of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. But I feel like she came to the reunion without really trying to have some resolution or taking any accountability. But the way that Rosie ended her during this reunion with, I'm going to just play a quick clip. I posted this on social media. Let me show this to you. What did she say? Where is it? I thought I had it here. Did I delete it? Please and hold. Where is it? I know I posted it yesterday. Where is it? Did I delete it? No, I definitely didn't delete it. Where is that? I want to play the clip for you guys where Rosie says this. No, I must have deleted it or didn't post something. Yeah, it must have not posted because I don't understand where it went. I know exactly what she said, but I wanted to play the clip so you guys can hear it. Because if you weren't paying attention, you would have completely missed it. Because they're going through their back and forth, Kelsey and Rosie, during this reunion. And Kelsey brings up, she was like, "Oh, so do you think that I suck D to make a living, blah, blah, blah." But she was like, Rosie effortlessly had everyone's face gagged when she was like, hold on, I actually wrote the quote down. Please hold. Hold on. Where is it? Because this comes up later on. She says, this is what Rosie says. She says, "Well, your only coworker, the only coworker that you had was a girlfriend in Florida. The only coworker you had was a girlfriend in Florida." Even Liz, who's bestie Westies with Kelsey's face, was like, "Oh, and then she looked at Andy, and Andy was like, "Oh," and then everyone was just like, "Oh," clocked her. And I was like, that's what I want to see from Rosie. Rosie, I feel like you could have taken you could have let go of some of your anger when it comes to Kelsey coming to your home with a siren and the loudspeaker. Yes, I think that was annoying and she was being messy. But I feel like you could have been a little bit more amicable about that situation because I do feel like it added to you guys having a great season. Everyone was talking about that epic fight. Everyone's still talking about Slam Pig that you brought to the show. Okay? So I feel like there could have been some opening for resolution there. But Kelsey, you saying, well, she had the blueprints. I know someone wrote into Andy like, well, Kelsey, Rosie, you were trying to throw it in her face too. You were trying to pull up some sort of antic by bringing out the blueprints. Ashley definitely had Rosie's back during this reunion, and she stepped up for Rosie, and it was clear that Rosie asked her to step up for her, and she did. And it was nice to know. Oh, Ashley got emotional. Apparently, Ashley cried 7 times during the season and then cried at the reunion thinking about her friendship with Rosie. She's like, I just love my friendship with her. She's just so sweet. She'll come over. We'll watch old TV shows. She'll play with my kids. Like, she really loves her some Rosie. Okay? So she gets emotional and she cries for the 8th time. Okay. Cries for the 8th time. All right? Okay, I'm jumping all over when it comes to this reunion, but I did take a couple of notes in regards to, what did you guys think of the reunion set? I mean, look, we've seen a reunion set like this before. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Remember when they had their own the reunion set, they were on water. They put a lot of money into this reunion for Real Housewives of Rhode Island. It was pretty though. It was a pretty reunion set. Okay. Rula says that after 25 years of debate, she finally got her nose job and a lip lift. All right. I think you see a lot of these housewives do some work after being on television and seeing themselves on television and hearing people say things to them about them on television. Liz says that she feels like she looked more like Dolores Catania, who was not invited to this reunion. Ooh. And there was a nice, perfect space for her to be there. But what would Dolores have said during this reunion? She would have gotten dressed up to just sit there and look pretty. And that's basically what she did this entire season. It was sit there and look pretty. All right, so there was no need for Dolores to be there. But Liz says that she looked more like Dolores before she met Dolores' doctor. And then they showed old photos of Liz. And I was like, I don't think you looked more like Dolores then. I don't know why you look like Dolores now. Maybe because of the doc. You guys share the same doctor. But no, you don't look like Dolores before the surgeries. But okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. Whew. There we go. My hat's blinding my eyes there, so you guys can see me. Sienna says that Rosie is Housewives Gold. And a lot of people did not see it for Rosie in the beginning, including her cast. And I'm sure her cast probably feels away because I told you guys, for those that listen to the podcast, that this cast were really trying to ice Rosie out. And they were trying to force Alicia to ice Rosie out too. But Alicia didn't. And I like that for Alicia. That says to me, Alicia really does have her own mind. I know Alicia can kind of come across like she doesn't have her own mind. But even in this reunion, when Liz is trying to victimize herself when it comes to this situation with the homelessness stuff, she's just done with Liz making these excuses and talking about there's a voice note. Liz, if there was a voice note, you should have brought it to the reunion. I don't understand why you wouldn't have brought it to the reunion, unless you're like me, where I don't save people's voice notes like that. I know some of y'all save voice notes and whatnot. I don't. That takes up space on my phone. I don't need that. I'm also not trying to hold something against people. So I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why. But I did find it suspicious that Joellen, the number one detective in Rhode Island, apparently never listened to said voice notes. Do y'all believe Joellen? Because that's the thing with the Liz and Joellen of it all. I'm not team either one of them, because I found Joellen annoying when they were in that car talking about the homelessness stuff. And then Joellen being that person that's constantly nagging you, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Fix your face. Like, that's annoying. I get why Liz would be annoyed by that. And also when you're also saying, but you're my best friend. But you're my best friend. And Liz is like, I'm not your best friend. I don't know where you got that from. I think Joellen is annoying in her own way. I think she's great for the show, but I definitely think she's annoying in her own way. Okay? And weird in her own way. And that might stem, I'm going to give her some grace, that might stem from her childhood. She gave us an update on that. Her mom apparently is not happy with the show and how she's depicted on the show. I'm not shocked, because Joellen told her truth in regards to it. But didn't I tell you that Joellen should not have her kids around this woman? And now her mother's just like, you better say something nice about me or I'm not going to watch your kids. Really? So I wouldn't want you to watch my kids. Well, now apparently Joellen is quit her job after working for 20 years. She's quit her job. She was laid off from that one place. She doesn't know if it's related to what happened with Brian and Rula. But she says, after 20 years of working, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. No, she's not. She's going to be a full-time housewife. She's going to probably be doing sponsored posts and all those different things. We know what this is. She decided, what do I need to work anymore? I'm going to be this show just got renewed for a second season. I'm a full-time housewife, blah, blah, blah. Good for her. Why not? If this job is going to pay her more than she makes working every single day, good for her. Okay? Ricky says that Joellen is good TV. I think Joellen is good TV. But I also I'm already starting to see, remember, what was filmed was a very authentic Rhode Island ladies for them, because they didn't know what people were saying about them. Please keep that in mind when you're watching this reunion. What we saw during the season was them before the world knew about them. What we're seeing now at the reunion, the world has reacted to them. The world really likes them. There are certain people they like more than others. So now you're seeing a different side to them. And I can see that in Joellen. I think the attention has gone to her head a little bit, especially when she's yelling at Rula. You've been on like 3 episodes. What have you been doing here? I will say this. I agree. She's only been on 3 episodes, but her storyline carried the season. I'm not even a Rula fan like that, because Rula, you getting more upset at Joellen than your husband is a whole other thing. She's like, I have my ways. I'm still waiting to see those ways. I'm still waiting to see that. V. Spencer says Joellen needs to pipe down. She kept coming at Rula like she works for production. You are only on 3 episodes. Your season is coming. I agree. She kept saying that to Rula. Yet, here's the thing. Rula should have said to her real quick, I may be on 3 episodes, but I'm a full-time housewife. I'm a full-time housewife. Hey, look, all of these women have things about them that I'm just like, that annoyed me during this reunion. But I noticed that from Joellen. I do feel like the success of the show and the attention of the Bravo universe, I'm telling you, this goes to their heads. It's especially when they go to BravoCon. Oh my goodness, this really goes to the housewives' head. There's a whole psychology behind fame, reality television, but more so when it comes to the Bravo universe. So you already know these women are going to change. The only person I see not changing so far, based off of what I've seen in part 1 of the Real Housewives of Rhode Island reunion, was Alicia. I feel like Alicia has remained the same. Ashley, but Ashley's been on reality television. So this is just who she is. She's so used to it. She's used to the attention. The Bachelor Nation, that's a whole other situation. Who else? Rula literally changed. Liz, I don't know. I don't think Liz has really changed. I think Liz is going to be Liz regardless. All right. Singal says, much like Heather Gay. I heard something about the Heather Gay of it all over the weekend. I'll sit on that one. Maybe for the live show on September 25th. Yeah, I may sit on that one. Because that was a juicy little thing that I ended up finding out. I was like, what? And it's not about the new season. It's about something in the past. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Stephanie says Rula clocked in for the reunion. Rula did a lot in those 3 episodes. Right, Stephanie? Because that's the thing. If you want to make that comment about Dolores, I would be like, yeah, Dolores, you brought nothing. You were in like 3 episodes. But although Rula was she was definitely in more than 3 episodes, but she wasn't in a lot of episodes, but she's still a full-time housewife. She's still one of the main storylines for the season. So say what you want about her, but she was a big part of the season. And so were you, Joellen. So were you, but let's be honest. You taking that as a dig, she could be like, okay, fine. 3 episodes and I'm still here with you full-time. Look, full-time. I mean, it says Kempire is sitting on a lot of tea. Always. Look, always. All right. I'm literally jumping around because it's not even worth us digging into the reunion because, I mean, I took a lot of notes, but I'm just like, they talk about the origin of Slam Pig. They talk about, here's the thing I didn't like that Andy said to Rosie, because Rosie talks about, there's this rumor that she had an affair with the coach. The coach was a black man that they're talking about. According to Rosie, and she's been saying this in interviews and on social media, she's like, I've never met the man. I don't think Rosie would say that she never met the man if there's proof out there that could dispel that. I believe Rosie. What do you guys believe? Do you believe that she had an affair with this guy? And the fact that Joellen was just like, Rosie, I didn't even find him attractive. What does that got to do with anything? People have affairs with ugly people all the time. I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? Okay. MB says, unfortunately, Joellen helped with that, making Rula the storyline. You're right. You're definitely right. She made it a big part of her own storyline too. And I'm not mad at her for that, because if you're going to call my job and try to get me fired, she has every right. Archie says Rula and her husband equal Rashida and Kirk. Oh, damn. I could see it. I could definitely see that. Savannah says, I believe Rosie. I believe Rosie too. Rosie says, I've never met the man. Joellen says, I saw well, she didn't see the police report. She says, your name is in the police report. And they're like, have you seen the police report? Rosie's like, show me the police report. She's like, well, I talked to the police officers that wrote it. Really? Now you got them in trouble. Because now the people that wrote it, their names are attached to it. So it's not like they wrote it anonymously. So now they could get in trouble. If they're still police officers, they could get in trouble for revealing this information to you. But okay. Elise says, not Rashida got bags. Mm-hmm. So I found that to be interesting. Joellen says her name is in the police report. No one brought the police report to prove anything. Okay. And it was apparently when he got a DUI. Rewind. So apparently people were talking about Rosie being in the car at the time of this arrest. And Andy says, wait, they were talking about you on Reddit, in Rhode Island from, he basically downplays the significance of her role in Rhode Island and maybe the national news or something like that. I didn't like it. And I get what he was trying to insinuate. He feels like being on Real Housewives is the pinnacle. And yes, it is. It's a national, international show. But the way he said it, Reddit talks about me. Reddit talks about a bunch of so that would be like me coming on one of his shows and he's like, they were talking about you before you were on my show. Yes, Andy, they were. So I just didn't understand him trying to downplay the fact that Reddit, social media platform, could be talking about her. It's just like many people were talking about road tripping. And I'm thinking to myself, this man is so rude. Anyone else? I was just like, Andy, you do know how Reddit is. Reddit's talking about a bunch of different people. You don't necessarily have to be hugely famous. But apparently in Rhode Island, Rosie was on the news. Like she was on the popular local news. I was offended for her. I was definitely offended for her. Anyone else? I was a little offended for her. That's like, why are you acting like Real Housewives is the pinnacle for everybody? But anyway, NorCal Niner Gal, thank you so much for being a member and for gifting membership. Guys, if you got gifted a membership, be sure to thank NorCal Niner Gal. Love it. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate your support. Brandy, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandy says, I agree with your sentiments on Joellen. Kelsey is so dumb, it's frustrating. Liz is certifiable crazy, and I love Alicia. That's a great way of summing up the reunion. Raj, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Raj says, the reunion would have been a 9 for me if Rula would have stopped interrupting and if there were more receipts. I agree. I feel like a lot of them were still, there was one thing to put out these rumors during the season, but the reunion is about bringing the receipts and bringing this a full circle moment. So I felt like there was a lot of, again, throwing things out there, but no receipts. If there's a voice note, where's the voice note? If there's a police report with her name in it, where's the police report? I don't know. All right, let's move on. Rula and Liz get into it because apparently Rula, as you remember during the season, alluded that Liz may have had extramarital affairs. So Liz is like, yeah, let's talk about it. What exactly do you know? What exactly have I told you? And it seems as if Rula was like, well, there was that time on Block Island. So Liz ends up, between them trying to have a little bit of like this sort of like cat and mouse game in regards to the information. So Liz admits that she saw an old friend. She was separated from Jerry. Do you guys believe that Liz was separated? I have a feeling that she wasn't. Or maybe there was a weird space. Or maybe there was, they had an understanding. Maybe they both were cheating on each other at the time. I know there are toxic relationships where although they weren't technically separated or they're, you know what I mean? They end up cheating on each other. Y'all know people like this, okay? I personally have never been in a situation like that, but I definitely know people that are in relationships like that or knew people that were in relationships like that. So, but she claims that her and Jerry were separated, but apparently Rula knew about this story. But Liz says after it happened where she hooked up with this guy, I don't know if it was just a kiss, I don't know if it was more, but she says she was separated. She says the next morning, Rula and Brian called Jerry and told Jerry. Rula was like, that is not true. Subpoena the phone records. Subpoena the phone records? Who's doing that? Who's subpoenaing the phone records? But Rula denies it. She's like, I would never do that. I never did that, blah, 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 blah. But Liz seemed real frustrated by it because she feels like this is what Rula and Brian do. Because remember, Brian did that technically with Joellen as well. So she did admit to some cheating, but Rula made it seem as if it wasn't just that one particular incident, that there may have been other times. All right. Because Rula claimed that, Liz would do her thing, Jerry would do her thing. All right. Then they end up talking about, the fight that caused that caused the fight between Kelsey and Liz. Liz apologizes to Kelsey. Kelsey is not trying to get into it with Liz again. You saw she did not want to get in between Liz and Joellen during their argument to the point when they were arguing. Kelsey ran to Liz's dressing room and she still did not want to take a stand on what was being said. So she's definitely scared of Liz. That's the vibe it's giving. All right. Ashley has her own segment. They talk about how many times she cried. She gets emotional talking about her friendship with Rosie. She also addresses the fact that people, what was the thing? Oh, she talked about Audrey's, the business is booming, but it's still an issue for her because now business is booming at Audrey's and Jared's working all the time. So it's still an issue for her in regards to it, but the business is doing quite well. All right. Apparently, Kelsey's been following Ashley on social media since 2015. You got a fan. You got a fan, Kelsey, or maybe a stalker. I don't know. One or the other. Thank you so much, LaRonda, for the super sticker. We appreciate it. I love the fact we can see the super stickers now. Thank you, LaRonda. Appreciate it. Guys, you can also support just by liking today's video. This is our Tuesday takeover. We're talking about Real Housewives of Rhode Island, but we do have some hot topics to get into as well. I want to round out some of this Real Housewives of Rhode Island conversation in just a second. So Joellen has her particular segment, and Andy brings up, like, you were a wild child in your 20s, and Rula alludes that, oh, she's still having crazy times. So Rula's big thing with Joellen is that Joellen is cheating on her husband. Rula, this is where you lose me. Like, I don't love Joellen and how she handles things, or the fact that she kept on harping on the situation when I felt like she should have let it go when it comes to your husband. But you now trying to come for her and say that she's the cheater without any proof, I'm just sort of like, girl, worry about what's going on at your home, because the way that your husband cheated on you was bad, like bad. You know what I mean? Really, really, really bad. And the most embarrassing, to the point where Joellen says the man was still sleeping with that woman in December, and he had last saw her in January. All right. So they have their little back and forth. She also addresses her sister's relationship with Gary, because everyone is running with the narrative that Gary and Jen may have had something. And she's like, he touched her boob in 7th grade. Do you have boobs in 7th grade? I guess depending. Like, who's boobs in 7th grade? But fine. And it's like a running joke. She also addresses the fact that there are rumors of her being a swinger. Andy asked the group, has anyone heard her doing that? A lot of people didn't hear of her being a swinger. What do you guys believe? Do you believe that Joellen is a swinger? I feel like there might be some smoke there, though. I don't know if she's a full-on swinger. I feel like there might be some smoke. I feel like there might be some infidelity, allegedly. I'm not sure. I don't completely not believe that something might have been going on. But Rula's alluding that Joellen may have been sleeping with doctors, meaning, because remember, that's the business that she was in, where she would, go to these different doctors' offices and sell these different services and whatnot. Not those kinds of services. Like the medical services, y'all. All right. Okay. What else happened during this reunion that I wanted to mention? Oh, Joellen also talks about her mom and what's going on with her mom. Her mom is not happy with how she's depicted on the show. And she talks about why her mother sent her away. And she basically said, I did what like a teenager does. I faked a shower and I went to go see my boyfriend. And that sparked her mother sending her away. I like, that's where Joellen has me, because I'm like, no, I got your back on that one. Your mom was a terrible mother. She was a terrible human being, and you should not have your children around her. But that's me. I wonder if she will film next season, her mom. I don't know. Like, I don't know what her mother expects. You were a terrible mother. Miss Parker says she's not a swinger, but she swung. Maybe that's the best way to describe Joellen. She might not be a swinger now, but she swung at one particular point. All right. Miss Melamash says she said they did have a threesome. Okay. Look, okay. She did say that during the season. All right. So then at the end of the reunion, they addressed the homelessness conversation. And it's very clear that Liz and Alicia do not want to have problems with each other. Liz has known her even before she was born. So they don't want to have a problem with each other. But it does get a little heated because Liz apologizes and she says, I never meant to hurt you. I didn't want people thinking that about you. I didn't want, Rhode Island thinking that way about you. And then she says that it takes a turn because she says she doesn't like the way that Joellen addressed it because she felt like it was a gang up. And she feels like these voice notes prove that this was planned. So she feels like them blindsiding her in the car was planned by Alicia and Joellen. And I took that as her saying that they were self-producing, which wouldn't surprise me because I've told you what I've heard about this cast and why it took so long for us to get this season and how they are behind the scenes. Like, according to my sources, allegedly, producers are behind the scenes saying, go over there and have an argument. And basically, for lack of like a better way of setting that up, but basically there's a lot of pre-producing when it comes to this cast. So I'm wondering if that's what Joellen is trying to say. Well, not Joellen, Liz is trying to say. But I found it interesting that Joellen says, oh, I didn't listen to that voice note that you're talking about. You know, it's like from August. I didn't scroll up. I went out the night before, blah, 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 blah. So, but it takes a turn because Liz, although she wants forgiveness from Alicia, she also is throwing Alicia under the bus. Alicia gets so frustrated. That's why I say y'all got to be careful with Alicia. She's very sweet. She's very angelic. But there's also this other side from her. She's like, you know, welcome to Rhode Island, B. So there's this side of her that's there, and she gets that way during the reunion with Liz. And she's just like, this is exactly why I said you're abusive. She's like, this is exactly why I said that you're abusive. But I understood a little bit of what Liz was saying when it comes to Joellen. Because Joellen keeps saying that, you were my best friend. Andy's like, well, you did say that you guys spent Mother's Day together. And I really do believe that there's a friendship between Liz and Joellen. But I think Liz is not taking the, like, oh, we're best friends. I think Joellen's creating that in her head. And it could be because of her issues with her mom. She does admit that. She's she's trying to get Liz's love like she wants her mother's love. And Liz is like, I'm not your mother. I'm not your ma. Okay, ma? So I feel like that's what's happening here. And I'm sure you probably know people in your life that probably consider you their best friend and you don't consider them that as well. Desiree says Alicia's a Sag. She can bring it. Oh, then now that makes a lot more sense. Okay? Exactly. B. Spencer said Alicia is like 0 to 100. But I was here for it because I was a little frustrated with Liz as well. But I also understood, remember we talked about this during the season, I also understood why Liz was like, I'm annoyed right now. I'm not happy. Leave me alone. But Joellen was still in her face the entire time. And part of me wonders if that was also production telling her, try and have the conversation with her. Try and have the conversation with her. So I don't know if it was that or just Joellen trying to produce in that moment. Because wouldn't that frustrate you too if you just want to be left alone, like you're annoyed? Leave me alone. And Joellen was just constantly like trying to have a conversation with her. She went out to go have a cigarette. You're following me to go have this cigarette. I found Joellen to be annoying during that trip. But then they have their back and forth, and then it turns into a back and forth between Joellen and Rula because Rula is making comments about Joellen and her being nosy and things like that. And Rula's calling Joellen a slut. She's like, your husband's a slut. Honestly, that would end Rula's argument because she's right. She's like, we're not talking. She's like, that's a separate issue. We're not talking about Brian. We're talking about you. She's like, your husband's a slut. Oh my God. And no lies told, right? No lies told. Your husband's a slut. OMG. Guys, you're just joining us. It is lunchtime. And if you haven't taken advantage of our collaboration with Factor Meals, what are you waiting on? They've got the food for you. Okay, I get it. It's not a new year, but it can still be a new you. As you know, we've partnered with Factor many, many times, and this is no different. But let me paint a picture for you. Hunger strikes, and you're exhausted. I know it, especially on a busy day. There's something healthy in your fridge or pantry that you should be making, but you don't have it in you. Relatable, right? For me, eating healthy isn't a willpower problem. It's a setup problem until I found Factor. As you know, I have a busy schedule. Sometimes there's breaking news and I do not have the time in me to cook that meal or prepare for that meal. With Factor, I'm hitting my nutrition goals this season without the planning, grocery shopping, or cooking. What I also love about Factor is that you're getting great quality meals, dietitian approved meals. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support. For strength and workout recovery, check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. As I've mentioned many times before, Factor meals are crafted with functional ingredients from lean proteins, colorful veggie, whole foods, and healthy fats. Factor bans 175 plus ingredients, no artificial colors, no sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, and no refined seed oils. And most importantly, convenience. Ready in 2 minutes, Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door, so you have more time for everything you love this spring. Head to factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only, while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. More details on Factor and your discounts will be available in the description. Thanks, Factor. Yeah, shout out to Factor. I could use a Factor meal right after this live. Be quick and easy. That's for, I don't know about anyone else. I need quick and easy, delicious meals. So shout out to Factor. More information on your discount will be available again in the description. There is no deadline. Hold on, I just saw the comment. There we go. Keena says, is there a deadline to purchase the live stream? The only deadline I will tell you, try and purchase it before the day of the show, which is September 25th. Because there is a cutoff the day of. I just don't remember what that cutoff is exactly. But you get to keep it though for 1 week after the show. And a lot of you the last time took advantage of that and watched it multiple times. I can't wait for this next show, September 25th, guys. Ticket information will be available on the Kempire After Dark live show. If you're wondering what that will be like, if you're in New York, get your in-person tickets. But if you can't come to New York, get your live stream ticket. But for those that want to know what this live show experience is, it's me spilling tea. It's me sharing more than I'm able to share on platforms like this when it comes to the hot topics and whatnot. So again, ticket information will be available in the description. Angel says tonight Kempire is having leftover chicken and rice. You're right. I made that last night on live. Okay. All right. Okay, so if you guys had to rate the reunion part 1 for Real Housewives of Rhode Island, how would you rate it from 1 to 10? I thought it was good. I'd probably give it a solid 7.5, maybe an 8. I thought it was decent. I'm glad that it's not 3 parts. I don't think they need 3 parts. Who do you think was the MVP of the reunion? Honestly, just based off of Rosie and her statement, she says literally that, well, you only had your only other coworker you had was a girlfriend in Florida. That for me ended the reunion. No one had a stellar line like that. Even with Joellen saying your husband's a slut, even that it doesn't have the same level of clever like Rosie did. Like, you had to be paying attention, and she said it so effortlessly. She didn't have to scream. She just was like, boom. She's like, the only other coworker I've known you having is a girlfriend in Florida. Oh, okay. Ended her in that moment. All right. Neki says Rosie, Alicia, and third Joellen. I have to agree with that. All right. Foxy says Rosie and Alicia. Yeah. Susie says Liz was the MVP in my opinion. I mean, I could see that because she really wasn't sweating. She really wasn't sweating. Ashley didn't bring a lot during the reunion, but I didn't expect her to either. Kelsey either. She really didn't bring a lot. I mean, she got ended in that first moment. Rosie for me won. All right. Let's move on from there. If you're just joining us for our Tuesday takeover, this is where we cover a variety of reality television, but also hot topics as well. So let's get into some hot topics because I got to get off of here by like 4 o'clock today, y'all. I got meetings. So let's talk about Clive Davis. Okay, so Clive Davis, as you know, passed away, age of 94 years old. So a lot of people, although there are some, especially those of you that are in the music industry, have been celebrating his legacy. His legacy is long. With a long legacy like that, there comes a lot of people saying like, well, he wasn't the nicest person. He wasn't the best man. A lot of people have their conspiracy theories on Clive Davis. We're not going to talk about that here. But people are citing this interview that Wendy Williams did with Clive Davis years ago. And we're going to play this under fair use. I'm going to have to stop and play, y'all. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up.
Now, I've made it no secret.
All right. So we're playing this under fair use. This was an interview years ago on the Wendy Williams show where Clive Davis stopped by the Wendy Williams show. And she basically was like, so why did you guys continue to have the Grammys party, the Clive Davis Grammys party, and Whitney Houston had died the same day? You remember?
That I just thought it was in poor taste for you to continue with the pre-Grammy party when Whitney's body was still upstairs in the hotel room. Remember, Whitney passed away the same day as Clive, your annual party. Why did you go on and have the party? Just asking.
And I think that's a fair question. If you're going to have Clive Davis sitting on your couch, I think that's a fair question to ask him, because people still talk about it to this day.
Well, you're a very small minority. Because if you...
He said that she's a small minority. Excuse me, sir? I don't think you should say that to an actual minority. A small minority. Hold on, let me rewind that back.
Asking.
Well, you're a very small minority. Because if you knew Whitney better, you knew she was not there to perform.
Yeah.
This was her favorite night of the year. She came out every year. This party was so part of her.
So you're saying that
so that the family, we spoke to representatives of Pat, who was a manager, and Gary, who was her brother.
Her body was still upstairs.
But we dedicated the evening. Whitney would have wanted this party to go on any more than the Grammys should stop.
But y'all remember, it literally happened hours before. If anything, y'all could have said, you know what, off the strength of Whitney, we're not going to do this tonight. Her body is upstairs. And that's why everyone gives Pat Houston the side eye too, because it's always felt like Pat's been trying to capitalize off of Whitney's name, and she's not even a blood relative. She's a manager. She's the executor over the estate. But
a packed house, paying tribute. Alicia performed. Tony Bennett, Diana Krall, the Kings had flown in from Europe. Elvis Costello, Jackson Brown, Diana Ross, Jamie Foxx. Everybody celebrated the life, the memory. That was appropriate. So I beg to differ with you.
Well, we agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
And that's
Well, you know, I'm glad she asked the question, though. I'm glad Wendy asked that question because, and yeah, I agree. Terry says I miss Wendy. I miss watching her on Daytime Talk. Daytime Talk is not the same without Wendy Williams. All right, so everyone's talking about, there's so many other examples. Shout out to Golden Stories on, I think it was the Golden Age Stories on Instagram. They were talking about the different times throughout Whitney's career where her and Clive differed on opinion when it comes to certain things about her life and career and her aspirations. Look, we have to also keep in mind, I know he probably will say that Whitney was his friend. I don't know if I would consider them friends. I would definitely, you have to remember that Clive Davis is a music executive, and he's been a music executive for many years. And when you are financially connected to someone, when there's a business relationship, especially when your business relationship with someone has made you millions of dollars, the line of friendship is skewed. Okay, so I can't say that that was a real friendship, but in all fairness, we don't know their friendship. We don't know their relationship. Everyone bases their thoughts on Clive and Whitney's relationship off of what they've seen over the years. We don't know the true level of their relationship. But I find that I wouldn't consider that a real friendship, especially when that much money is involved. Okay. And especially even after her death, there was a lot of money involved. He was very much involved in a lot of the Whitney movie, you know, her legacy after she passed on. We have to keep in mind, Whitney, while she was alive, very much like Michael Jackson, she was also struggling financially between taking care of everybody, bad business deals. When she passed on, now she's not alive for any of that. If anything, the price went up for Whitney music and streaming and movies and things like that. So a lot of people, including her family and Pat Houston and Clive Davis, all of those individuals benefited from her no longer being here. Okay. Amar says that Wendy is a Cancer. She always got to it. Happy Cancer season, y'all. Happy Cancer season. Wendy's birthday is next month. Shout out to anyone celebrating a birthday as well. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying. Okay. Let me focus. So since we're talking about Whitney Houston, another story is out there about Whitney Houston, and it comes from Oprah Winfrey. So Oprah Winfrey in a sit-down interview in a public space, she's over there in Cannes, basically told this story, and everyone is saying, why did you need to tell this story, Oprah? So I have a complicated relationship. And when I say relationship, it's not like a personal relationship. I have a complicated relationship with Oprah because she's someone I looked up to when it comes to my career for a very long time. But there's been some things in recent years that made me kind of go, Oprah, wait, but I'm going to be twerking on a fence when it comes to this story. But this is what Oprah had to say about Whitney recently.
We did the whole, hey girl, how you doing, greeting thing. And then I stopped the cameras and I went behind stage and I said, so tell me, what do you want? What do you want to happen here? And I'm going to tell you what I want to happen here. And that was one of the most powerful interviews. And do you all know this is an amazing thing that happened? I had such trust from the Oprah show audience that Whitney did, I think it was her last show with us, and she had gone back on drugs. The first interview I did with her when we'd gone behind stage and I asked her about her attention, she was clean. But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not.
Do you guys remember that interview? That was one of the last interviews that Whitney did with Oprah, where they had that interview in the auditorium. That was a special place for Whitney and her career. And that was done days before. And then in this, I think it was like a 2-part interview. And then there was an audience at the Oprah Winfrey show in studio, Harpo Studios, where Whitney came to perform, because this was also a part of the rollout that Clive Davis was a part of when it came to her last project. She came to perform there. So this is what Oprah is telling a story about in regards to that day, part 2 of the interview.
Perform in front of the audience, she was not, and she fell off of the stage.
So she's saying that Whitney was actually high in that second part of her interview. Let me go back.
Show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not, and she fell off of the stage. And I knew that if that story got out that she'd fallen off of the stage, that she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out because it would ruin her life, and they did not.
And what about...
That would not happen today, I can tell you.
So a lot of people are saying, in regards to this story, why are you telling this story now, though, Oprah? If you felt like it would ruin her life, why would you tell this story now? I'm going to twerk on a fence. I'm going to see the other side of this. I feel like Oprah feels empowered to tell this story now because it wouldn't affect Whitney because Whitney's no longer here. But immediately when I heard this story, and I said, so why are we telling this story if you literally had the trust of this audience? The audience that was there never told the story, even though Whitney has passed on for how many years now? No one in that audience told the story. And you asked them not to tell that story, Oprah. But now, in front of this live audience, and now it's on every blog, every news article, now everyone's talking about it. I just sometimes like read the room. And look, I get it. In your head, you're thinking you were just dumbfounded that happened in front of all these people and no one ever knew until this moment. I was just immediately when I heard this, I was like, so why are you telling the story? Because I was really waiting to see the context of it all. And I think on one level, if I had to twerk on a fence when trying to see her side of it, at the time, because Whitney was still alive, she felt like if that had come out, it would have been headlines and it probably would have sent her in a dark space and whatnot. So she feels empowered now. Well, Whitney's no longer here with us, so I can tell the story. But you know who's still here with us, though? Her friends, her family that might be affected by this story. Yes, her daughter's no longer here. Her mom's no longer here. But she still has her brothers. She still has her cousins. She still has the people that love her. I I don't know. I found that to be weird. But again, there have been moments in recent years that I found some of the things that Oprah has done to be a little strange and sort of not reading the room. And I guess maybe when you reach a level of power and success and money and you don't have regular folks around you to be like, yeah, girl, that's not normal. You know what I mean? That's not normal. And that's why it's important to have people around you that will kind of ground you. VK says, what an audience. I mean, that's incredible. Everyone's never told that story. Honestly, I would only justify Oprah telling the story if it had come out. If one of the people had spoken up recently about it. And she was like, well, I never wanted to talk about this, but since someone did speak about it, and this is years after it happened, I'm speaking about it. But no, you were the one who asked the audience never to speak about it, and you're the one telling the world about it. I mean, it's sad. It's a very, very sad situation. But if anything, people are going to use this against Oprah again. Because like, see, we told you about Oprah. And they have their things when Oprah did the interview with Michael Jackson. They talk about her connection to Harvey Weinstein. They talk about all these different examples. And it's just like, okay. And Oprah has her comments off. She's had her comments off on Instagram for years at this particular point. I don't know when. I think it was the Harvey Weinstein of it all is when she shut off her comments. So Oprah's not even hearing what you guys are saying in regards to how you feel about her, because I feel like people constantly are trolling her in her comment section. But I just don't get why she felt the need to tell this story now. Part of me does on one level, because Whitney's no longer here, so it's not going to affect Whitney per se. But again, you're not thinking it through that it could affect her friends and family that are still here. And yes, it's very clear, in all fairness, because there will be the folks that will be like, well, Whitney did have a problem. She did have an addiction issue. All right. Elevate Sage, it's okay. But thank you so much. Elevate Sage says, I'm going to get my Kempire After Dark tickets. I got laid off again, and this is what life in your late 40s is like. Life is too short to live for the job that throw you away in a heartbeat. But I hear you on that one. I definitely hear you on that, Elevate Sage. And we're wishing you the best of luck. If that means you taking the sabbatical, enjoying the rest of the summer, enjoy it. If it means you're going to be hitting the ground running next week when it comes to the job hunt, we're sending you good vibes. We appreciate it. Guys, you can also support the channel just by liking today's video. Liking, sharing, telling people about what we're doing here. Don't forget, we are live on YouTube, but we're also live on Twitch. So follow me on Twitch. We're live on Facebook and on X. I might go live on Instagram later today. I haven't gone live on Instagram in a hot second. Speaking of Instagram, Nightbot just reminded you how to follow me on Instagram. The Kempire on Instagram. I just thought yesterday too when I went live on YouTube. I was like, oh, I haven't gone live on Instagram in a long time. Okay, because of the implications as Oprah is the GOAT. Period. But that's the thing. No one's taking that away from Oprah. Oprah has definitely inspired a lot of people over the years, and she's done a lot of good over the years. That's why for me in recent years, some of the things that she said and done has made me go like, things that make you go, And if and when I do get another interview with her, yes, I've interviewed her before. You can watch it on the Kempire or listen to it on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. I probably would ask her, some of those questions, especially when it comes to how she navigates criticism against her. I would like to hear her thoughts on that. But okay. Yes, I do remember that. Artavia says Whitney's brother admitted to introducing Whitney to drugs for the first time in an interview shortly after Whitney's death. I can't remember who was the interviewer. It was Oprah. Look, remember that was the time that she did an interview with Sissy Houston, and the brother was a part of that interview. Remember? It was Oprah. Yeah, Coco says, me too. Oprah stops tarnishing the career you worked hard for. It's a sad situation because I really like the people that know me know how much, especially when I got the Oprah interview, how monumental that was for me. But it's just kind of crazy to see that career be tarnished. I'm not going to say that it's been ruined because I can't say that her career and her legacy has been ruined. But some of the moves that she's made and the people she's associated herself with has made me kind of go, All right. Moving on, let's get to, because I want to round out this Tuesday takeover for you guys. I will add the timestamps later. I need to get somebody, one of the mods or somebody to do the timestamps because I'm busy, y'all. I got a lot of things going on. Don't forget, guys, you can also watch us on TheKempire.com. So shout out to those of you that are watching from TheKempire.com. If you don't want to be in the chat, that's another place that you can watch. There's also where you can get our merch, get ticket information on Kempire After Dark. That's also where you can sign up for our newsletter. Go check out all the new things happening over there at TheKempire.com. All right. All right. Let's move on from there. Let's talk about Cynthia clapping back at Shamea. So we've already talked about what Shamea had to say on the Carlos King interview. If you missed that, mods, can we just post a link to my recap of the Carlos King interview that Shamea did? Shamea, I said to you, I found it to be weird that she had so much smoke for Cynthia and Cynthia talking about the body shaming. And I told you, I happened to listen to that episode of Humble Brag where Cynthia and Crystal were talking about what was playing out on the show. And I said to you, I don't feel like Cynthia went that hard. I don't feel like Cynthia went hard on Shamea at all. She was just talking about like, I just don't like the body shaming of it all. And so she was really giving grace. And I know some of you feel like Cynthia is team Porsha and she's a go naked hair model and she's coming for Shamea. You're entitled to your feelings. I personally, when I heard that episode, I didn't feel that way. I was like, Shamea, you're bothered by Cynthia. And I told you, didn't I tell you that Cynthia would be upset when she tried to take that dig about Cynthia not being a full-time housewife? Because it was a dig. It was very, very much a dig that Shamea was like, oh yeah, you said a housewife. She's not a housewife. And I told you that Cynthia, being a Pisces, a little sensitive, that she's going to be a little upset. So I want you to take a listen to what Cynthia and Crystal had to say on this week's episode in regards to what Shamea had to say. And the reunion, according to sources, is going to be filmed this Thursday. And Cynthia is preparing for said reunion. All right. Exactly. Jean says that Shamea has activated 50 Cent. So 50 Cent, first of all, she's going to come looking amazing. And she's going to be ready with her receipts. Okay. Let me play for you what Cynthia had to say on Humble Brag podcast.
Humble brag.
Humble brag. Brag with us.
First things first, my darling.
Okay.
Are you ready for reunion?
I am 90% ready for the reunion.
Okay. And what does that mean? Clothing wise, notes wise? Like, tell us.
Okay, notes wise, I'm not ready.
Oh.
And I need to get ready because so much stuff is still happening. Like, people are doing interviews and
I'm going to ask you about those interviews.
Oh yeah, so it's still
housewife,
happening.
non-housewife, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not
all
happy.
That stuff. I know.
I'm really mad. I got off the plane mad.
Really? So anyway, but I'm pretty much. I have my first choice look.
Okay.
I just need to make sure I definitely get to have it, and I think I'm going to.
Okay.
And I have a second choice. Hair, I'm still on the fence about. Makeup, I'm fine with.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually excited to see what her reunion look is going to look like because a lot of people have been talking about how Paris Shea has been getting Cynthia's confessionals just looking great, her interviews and things like that. I mean, if anything, in regards to what Cynthia has been wearing for her confessionals and these interviews, I'm excited about her reunion look. And she admitted, I think it was last week's episode of Humble Brag, she admitted last season that she really didn't, because she was a friend of, she really did not do a lot when it comes to her looks. And she's like, I should have, because people were paying attention because you are on national television. So she's definitely put in a lot more effort when it comes to her looks this season. And I'm glad she has, because she's having a good season. And I said, I feel like if she was full-time, people would feel differently about her.
your first choice, second choice, is that based on them, production? Like you're waiting to hear back if they approve it?
No.
You're deciding.
I'm just making sure I can get it from the designer.
Got it.
He's a pretty well-known New York designer. We used to work together. I used to model for him like years ago. And
okay, humble brag. That's a humble brag, because people forget that. And again, when I first was introduced to Cynthia, it was way before Real Housewives of Atlanta. I remember her just being a model.
We have reconnected, and I was like, should I ask him? Because I didn't really think he would like even be open to it. But because this stuff is like really special.
Well, reunion is special.
It's definitely going to be special this season for sure.
I was going to say, because even though you're, quote, only a friend, I saw that interview with Shamea and Carlos.
Crystal is so messy. I would be interesting to see this Crystal in new era of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I know there are rumors that she's going to join. I've heard that that's not true, but things can change between now and the end of the summer because they haven't started filming yet.
Our boy King.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised she was shady about you when he asked her
I was
about
surprised too.
Her, the good and the bad, or what she didn't expect. Were you surprised that you were the one?
I'm not surprised.
Oh, okay.
No,
Oh.
I'm not surprised.
Why was Cynthia not surprised? Because remember when we reported on it, I was shocked. I was like, why does Shamea have so much smoke for Cynthia?
I'm not. I think that at the end of the day, I think that I don't want to go into it too much, but the good news is she watches our show. She watches our podcast because she says
Shade.
that she was watching our podcast and we were talking about the whole like split thing and all that stuff, which I thought was like, I mean, I don't think I went too hard. I just basically said I also have big feet, and after a while it's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't really drag it, you know what I'm saying, or her, but whatever.
Not at all.
100%. I have to say that again, guys. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, you'll hear exactly what Cynthia said. It really she wasn't dragging Shamea. She's given Shamea a lot of grace when it's come up during interviews.
Not at all. I mean, like, watch the past seasons. Watch this season. I mean, people are going real hard. That's like
well,
light.
I mean, I definitely feel like she has bigger fish to fry than me, for sure. I'm like,
I thought you were
okay,
going to say
girl.
bigger feet.
Not bigger feet.
Well,
That too.
She's got bigger shoes to fill, I guess, and bigger feet to put socks on.
That's right.
Or whatever. So,
But I thought that it was ironic because it's like she was trying to be shady about you, but like when he asked, what housewife surprised you, whatever, and she's like, well, Cynthia, but like, I mean, she's not a housewife, she's a friend, and I'm like, yeah, Shamea, because put some respect on my girl's name. You're the one bringing her up. So you're obviously doing all the work. So don't worry, I'll go to the reunion for you.
You know what? After you've been a housewife for over a decade and you started off as a housewife and not a friend, it just kind of is like, is there really...
Did y'all hear that? That was shade. That was grown shade. What Cynthia just said. She basically saying to Shamea, you've been sitting on the sidelines trying to become a housewife. I came into the show as a housewife. Ooh. The shade. Y'all gotta stop it, because this is why people like to rewrite history when it comes to Cynthia. And if you go back and you watch Cynthia's confessionals and her time on Real Housewives of Atlanta, yes, she started off a little, trying to figure it out in her first season, but she figured it out real quick. Okay.
Well, that too. She's got bigger shoes to fill, I guess, and bigger feet to put socks on.
That's right.
Or whatever. So,
but I thought that it was ironic because it's like she was trying to be shady about you, but like when he asked, what housewife surprised you, whatever, and she's like, well, Cynthia, but like, I mean, she's not a housewife, she's a friend, and I'm like, yeah, Shamea, because put some respect on my girl's name. You're the one bringing her up. So you're obviously doing all the work. So don't worry, I'll go to the reunion for you.
You know what? After you've been a housewife for over a decade and you started off as a housewife and not a friend, it just kind of is like, is it really shade? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was on the sidelines
for
years and then finally got my peep. So I think it's a moot point, really. So yeah.
Also, who gave you a shout out was Carol Radswell.
Oh, really? What did she say?
She said that she was offered a full-time role, but didn't want to because she saw how you were moving with the friend role. You're making it like primary. You're making it like the spot. Like, now people used to say like, oh, who gets seat number 1 next to Andy? Everyone wants the last seat.
Sidebar, can y'all believe that they were trying to offer Carol a full-time role? I do believe that. But at the same time, Carol's life right now, we're going to see her dating a young man again. Like, I don't care. I honestly don't care to see Carol on this season. If you're a Club KEMPIRE member, I spilled some tea on when it comes to Real Housewives of New York, and I talked a little bit about it last night. But I heard this season, the reboot to the reboot is a snooze fest.
Yeah, I you know what? Did you get a chance to catch me on Watch What Happens Live?
Of course I did. They do. Well, I can get it in Hong Kong. I can't get everything in Hong Kong.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was doing my best, of course.
But Andy really gave me a lot of love and the whole thing. And it was it's interesting just talking about like how I have just kind of really made this friend role really work for me for what I want to do at this point, since I am no longer a housewife. Okay. So,
according to
but in any case, I'm having, like, this has been the funnest season for me, to be honest. And I really am doing it on my own terms. And it just feels good for the other ladies. Like, literally anyone who's even thinking about the friend position calls me.
Yeah.
They literally, they're like, call Cynthia, girl. Like, all of them. I don't have to say the names, but just know if they're a friend of this season, that they probably talk to me.
Well, I will say this to all our humble braggers and anyone else that's listening who are our future humble braggers. You know, when people are really praising you, this is like, people are saying this is your best season yet. They're like, give her a peach back, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you're having your best season probably because you're a friend of and you're relaxed. Yeah. So it's the best, like, keep it where it's at. Do you know what I mean? Like, stay the course, because everyone loves you in the space, because you could feel that you come in without having to be really getting down and dirty in the mix. You know, you can be the voice of reason, you can be, you know, and like, it's just such a better space for you and people are enjoying it. So I love it.
Here's the thing. And Cynthia goes on to say that she is open to being a full-time housewife. Of course she is. She wants that full-time housewife's check. But there's a level of exposure that I feel like she shouldn't do, especially with her new relationship. I mean, it's not such a new relationship anymore. They've been together 2 years. I don't think she should do it. I think this is a perfect role for Cynthia. She should just milk it as much as she can, because she's still getting the benefits of being on this show without getting the exposure. However, because you're having such a good season, don't be surprised they're going to try and pull you in next season and try and throw you under a bus. Just saying. And when I say they, I'm not just talking about the cast. Okay. Today's brought to you by our friends over MyFitnessPal. So I have to be real with you guys. As you know, I've been using MyFitnessPal for years, but there was a period of time that I stopped using it because I hated logging my meals after a while, especially with trying to go through different versions of the meal that I had, forgetting to log it before I started eating. And then if you don't log it, MyFitnessPal loses its purpose. If it loses its purpose, you stop using it. And then you get hit with ads. Well, now I've discovered that MyFitnessPal has come such a long way since my first time using it. I'm always shocked at how easy it is to log the meals now. They even had some meals that I didn't think that they would have, like my cassava shakes. They have that, and they have the new flavors. Okay, this is one of my favorite premium features, and it almost feels like cheating. It's called Meal Scan. Instead of typing anything, I just open the camera, point it at my food. This is my nutrition shake right here. And MyFitnessPal actually sees it. It recognizes what I'm eating. One tap, it adds it to my lunch, and it's logged. No searching, no scrolling, no guessing. I just showed my phone what I was about to eat, and it handled the rest. Easy. And look, it instantly updates my day. It already tells me I'm 80% to my protein goal. That's the part that keeps me honest, because I can see exactly where I am in real time. That's MyFitnessPal Premium. It makes staying on top of your nutrition almost effortless. This is me logging a snack today. I'm not typing anything. I just hit barcode scan, point my phone at the protein bar, and there it is. Instantly, the whole thing, 190 calories, my protein, my carbs, my fat, all of it, logged in about 2 seconds. That's it. That's the whole process now. Same thing here. Grab the yogurt drink, scan the barcode, done. It knows exactly what it is. The thing that used to take me a full minute of squinting and searching now takes me the length of one breath. That's the difference premium makes. And that's the other thing. With premium, there are no ads, none. And before premium, I would be trying to log a meal and there would be ads in the way. And things like that are frustrating. You're not going to log your meals. You're not going to want to use the app. And that's really the whole point. And as I said before, your nutrition is the foundation everything runs on. Your energy, your sleep, and your recovery. But only if you stick with it. And you're only going to stick with it if it's easy. And that's exactly what MyFitnessPal Premium did for me. And it can also do it for you. Of course, I've gotten you a discount. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use code KEMPIRE, all uppercase letters, for 15% off premium. Same thing that took me years to stick with, you can start this week. And it's easier than ever. More information on MyFitnessPal and your discount will be available in the description. Thanks, MyFitnessPal. Oh, I'm just sitting here logging my on my MyFitnessPal. I was like, oh, I forgot to log today. So I was logging my lunch. I logged my breakfast. Did I have a snack yet? Not yet. But and if you continuously use it, the certain things that you have all the time are already there. So you just look, it's so easy. Because even right here, they're like, oh, swipe right to log Sunday's meal again. Right? Come on now. Shout out to MyFitnessPal, guys. Again, more information on how you can get a discount will be your 15% off premium will be available in the description. All right, so back to this. So I want to talk some more Real Housewives of Atlanta before we go. We had a couple of previews that came out when it comes to next week's episode. You know, they're going on their cash trip to Scotland. Based off the previews, it's very interesting. We're going to play this under fair use. I'm not going to play all of the previews that have come out at this particular point. It feels like we've seen next week's episode because there's so many previews. But Porsha's happy belated birthday, Porsha. How you doing? Okay. Well, Porsha and this cast of women apparently all have a little bit of a lesbianic past. Did y'all see this clip? Let me play this. Shout out to our friends over at No Chaser TV. I want to play this clip for you. Hold on. Boom, boom.
Would I ever date a woman again?
So Pinky dated a woman before? And I know some of you are going to be like, not surprised. You know what?
I think
Interesting. Listen, I like to have fun. I'm a grown-ass woman. You know what I'm saying?
I was shocked when she said she was marrying a man. But I'm sure you did it once, you'll do it twice, you'll do it thrice.
Oh, so, because remember, Phaedra has known Pinky for a while now. So maybe when Phaedra knew Pinky, she knew her to be with women?
Has everyone at the table been with a woman before?
My husband and I had things before that we explored. And I did it because that's what my husband wanted. And as a wife, I was...
So Drew is saying that she has been with other women before and she did it with Ralph. But she's saying that she only did it to satisfy her husband.
Like, I want to submit.
Right.
Oh, you didn't want it?
No, I would not be solely with a woman.
I kind of believe that. And I know a lot of people are going to be feeling mixed about that. And you see Porsha's reaction. Porsha's like, really? I believe that Drew wouldn't solely be with a woman. I don't think that she's not open to the possibility of, dating a woman or something like that or hooking up with a woman. But I feel like there's a lot of women like that. And a lot of these women on this cast, including Porsha, I don't believe Porsha is going to be with a woman or end up with a woman, to be honest.
Ralph, you're accusing Drew of being with multiple women?
Yes. And I told him, yeah, this is my friend. This person makes me happy. She laughs at my jokes.
We were at not Bulldog, child. Whoa. Many times
Is Bulldog's a lesbian bar in Atlanta?
Years ago, I kissed someone.
And your mouth was a little open, so we went all the way.
3, 2, 1.
So Cynthia's talking about the time she kissed Porsha. I don't think Cynthia is a lesbian or fluid.
I would rate her kiss aggressive. And this is before she knew I was gay. Girl.
Excuse me? Porsha, what?
You just said you're gay?
I mean, damn, I'm a year in now, bitch. I think I'm full-blown lesbian at this.
She's a full-on lesbian now. Y'all know how I feel about that, especially in Pride Month, where people feel like they can magically become gay and then all of a sudden next year they're not. Some of us do not. Some of us can't can't do that in a world where people are judged and persecuted for being gay.
We passed fluid. We is at the exit of Gay and I done got off and made a right turn.
It just wasn't my thing. And I have a fluid child. And trust me, I understand what it is.
Yeah. Has anybody else been with a woman?
I am.
Was it a real relationship?
I literally saw an old clip of K. Michelle's reality show where she gets into a fight with her friend that she used to hook up with. So she's talking about the time that she was gay for a moment. Must be nice to be gay for a moment.
My hairdresser at the time, she ended up sleeping with her.
No!
I thought that I was gonna be full out gay. I moved her to Atlanta and she hopped on top of my brand new car because I was talking to men. She tried to beat me up and she ended up with my hairdresser.
Was the girl in the entertainment business?
She wanted to be an actress, but she never did nothing. She was on the couch.
Not on the couch. Not the casting couch.
Not on the couch. I done had men took from me, but I done had a woman taken from me too. Enough of the gayness. I was ready to be straight again.
Would I ever date?
Must be nice. Ready to be straight again. Okay. She was ready to be straight again. Oh, Bulldogs is a gay bar. Wait, is it a gay bar or is it a lesbian bar? Because we have different ones. I mean, there's some that are mixed here in New York City, but there's like, is Henrietta still open here to lesbians that are from New York? Is Henrietta still open? That's probably closed a long time ago. Okay. Princess says that don't forget she gets hall passes too. In regards to her giving a hall pass to her husband, Caston. She said that in a recent interview as well. Jermaine says Pepsi from Ultimate Girls Trip did tell her that in regards, but no, remember Pepsi said that Porsha's going to have a problem with a lesbian. So I don't know. I think we're all waiting with like our breaths. We're holding our breath, waiting for Pepsi's prediction to come true. Because he says you'll have problem with lesbian. What are you saying, Pepsi? What lesbian are we gonna have a problem with? He said that to Porsha. All right, Princess always says it's the gay bar. All right, how come I didn't go to Bulldogs when I was in Atlanta? Because I wasn't there that long. I was not there that long. Mr. Mellow Magic said, I forgot about Pepsi. Oh, okay. Markel says that Bulldogs is a gay and lesbian bar. Markel, thank you so much for the super chat. Markel says, Kempire, you look really good. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, Markel. Markel, thank you for another super chat. Hold on, let me bring this up. She dragged Shamea by her pixie cut. I lived. In regards to Cynthia. Mm-hmm. Your Finance Auntie, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Your Finance Auntie says Shamesi gonna be fighting for her life Thursday. I kind of feel bad. Like I know y'all, maybe because it's cancer season. My Cancer Rising is activated. I kind of feel bad for her, but she created this herself. And no one wants to see a gang up. But I don't feel like Kelly is witty enough or strong enough to help her friend at this reunion. And you already know K. Michelle's not going to have her back. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Savannah says, I went to Henrietta's a few years ago. Is Henrietta still open? Let me Google it. Let me look. Henrietta's. Let me see. Is it still open? Let me see. Oh, apparently it's still open, y'all. It's closed right now, but it opens back up tomorrow at 6 p.m. I don't think I've ever gone to Henrietta's because it's always been known as a lesbian bar, so I've never gone. Okay, a long-running lesbian hangout for drinks, shooting pool, and dancing, especially on weekends. Okay, they allow outside food, y'all. Apparently great cocktails and live music. I have never gone. Who wants to go with me to Henrietta's? It's Pride Month. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, let's go. Oh, damn, their website's down, though. I'm going to need them to get this website together. I need y'all to get y'all website together right now. Let's see what the gift shop is giving. Nothing. Oh, no, they got some good gifts. All right. Maybe I'll go to, I'm sure they're going to be lit over the Pride weekend. Oh, this weekend's the culmination of Pride Month. So yeah, the big parade this weekend. It's supposed to be nice weather this weekend because maybe I'll go to the parade and be gay. Okay, be gay. Oh, really? Look at Nashe telling me about the black gay bar in Midtown Atlanta. It's a fun time, Bulldogs. Okay, Shay. Shay says Bulldogs is a black gay bar in Midtown Atlanta. It's a fun time. Well, next time I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to have to go through. Okay. Oh, De La Shay says, you are not missing out. Love yourself and skip Henrietta's. Oh, well, damn. Well, damn. Okay. Oh, we'll see this weekend. It's going to be a gay weekend. Speaking of gay weekend, don't forget, guys, we're raising money for the LGBT Center here in New York City. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Go donate what you can or share our videos so other people can donate if you can as well. All right. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show returns to New York City September 25th. So when the summer's over, this is your way of winding down. This would be our last show of 2026 happening here in New York City. So get your tickets today. Livestream tickets are available as well. Ticket information will be available in the description. Okay. Elsie says, where do the 45 and over hang out in New York City? Why are you asking me? Look, why are you asking me? Okay. All right. Was there anything else I wanted to play from here? Okay. Oh, I do want to play this. I'm gonna play this really quickly. Okay.
It's not a banjo. What is that? Bagpipe. She
Not
getting
a
it
banjo. Cynthia, really? A banjo?
too. Come on, lady.
So this is them arriving in Scotland.
Come on.
Yes.
Woo!
I was like, okay, I feel
Shamea in her confessional is twirling around.
Jesus in this place. I hear you, God. Oh, Hanasika. Oh, Shadarabata.
This is why I find it so interesting. And look, everyone's entitled to their opinions on what's funny and not funny. I find it interesting when some of y'all were like, oh, she's so funny. I'm like, where? I find that to be funny. Like, I think I'm a good time when it comes to, navigating what's funny. But I was like, okay.
Do y'all know the TikTok with the black Scots? This is him.
Welcome to Black Scottish TikTok.
Who remembers that on TikTok when it was going viral that they were black Scottish people?
Yes,
Well, Torgy was one of those people.
I'm black. 100% Scotch beef right here.
The original black Scottish man.
Yes, so you pronounce your name Troge?
Corgi. Corgi with a T.
Yeah.
You got it. I'm glad you can all understand me.
Yes. I just want to hear you talk.
I'll talk all night.
He's fine. Don't tell my husband about it. I was like, oh.
So he is not only super fine up under here, but he's a teacher as well.
I know exactly what's under that.
I found that to be, especially as a married woman and people talking about you stepping out on your marriage. Do you heard what Shamea said? Y'all heard what she said about I know he fine up under that. Okay.
I have followed Torgy for quite some time because I didn't even realize that they had black Scots. But seeing him in the flesh and around these women,
A true Scotsman, honey.
He reminds me of Sterling K. Brown dipped in chocolate.
Why did she say that she reminds him? Phaedra says he reminds him of a Sterling K. Brown dipped in chocolate. They're both chocolatey. I thought that was, I guess that's her way of trying to be funny, but I was like, they're both chocolate already.
With Nikes on, if something doesn't work out, I can just go home with you.
they gonna Torgy this man apart.
Ladies, welcome to Gilmerton House.
He does look like Sterling K. Brown, though. I will say that.
Gilmerton House.
Okay, it looks like a good trip. I'm excited for the trip. This season of Real Housewives of Atlanta has been pretty decent so far. It's definitely been decent so far and enjoyable to recap and talk about with you guys. This is our Tuesday Takeover where we cover shows like that or recap shows like that or talk about other hot topics like the Oprah Winfrey story. We did talk about that, and we also talked about some of the fallout of what's going to be happening at this Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Guys, when I have a moment this evening, I will add the timestamps, but enjoy the show from the beginning to the end. Don't forget, you can also hear it on the KEMPIRE podcast. Everything in regards to our sponsors will be available in the description, and everything KEMPIRE. Don't forget, you can also watch our videos exclusively on TheKempire.com. Be sure to check that out and join our mailing list. Mods, if we can post the mailing list in the live chat, TheKempire.com/join. You guys are missing out. out. A lot of cool things are also going to be announced via the mailing list. Do not be left outside the club, okay? Get your tickets today. In regards to the Kempire After Dark, a live show, again, happening on September 25th. I will see you all there. And if I see you in these streets, I'm going to remind you too. All right. What are you guys saying in the chat? Guys, we're almost at 500 likes. Can we get to 500 likes? Like the video. You've been here for like 2 hours. Why not like the video? Jermaine says much better than last season in regards to RHOA. And maybe it's because they now have built a relationship with each other. Maybe that's why it's gotten better this second season. Toyin says, Shamea making fun of a woman with big feet. Cynthia has big feet and it hurts when you're made fun of because of the size of one's feet. I'm a shoe size 11, 12 and have heard all the jokes. Wow. Okay. Bye-Belicious. All right. Yes, guys, don't forget to like the video. We're almost at 500 likes. Thank you so much. Angel says, thank you, Kempire, for a good time per usual. Thank you for being here. Lakia says, great live per usual, Kempire. Thank you, Lakia, for being here. GC, bye to you too. Let me see. Jess says, they have money, but are not well-traveled, I guess. There are people of color everywhere. You would, and maybe, I mean, again, remember that also went viral on TikTok. And I was like, y'all didn't realize that there are black people everywhere, literally, especially in Europe. I mean, slave trade. You know, there's a lot of reasons for that. Okay. DH said Sterling K. Brown is chocolate. Good looking at that. Laughing out loud. Exactly. All right. The SW says, does he mean black Scottish, like black American, or more like a citizen in Scotland? No, like meaning like he was born and raised in Scotland. Born and raised in Scotland. Hence the accent. All right. All right. I appreciate you all being here. Again, guys, more information on our sponsors and everything Kempire will be available in the description. Thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down. Thank you to our channel members. We appreciate them as well. And thank you to our subscribers and our new subscribers. If you're a new subscriber, be sure to let us know. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts on the Real Housewives Rhode Island reunion, your thoughts on what Cynthia had to say, clapping back to Shamea, your thoughts on Oprah revealing this story about Whitney Houston falling during one of their last interviews, and your thoughts on Big Tigger getting arrested for allegedly putting his hands on his wife. Let's continue this conversation in the live chat. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because I might go live a little bit later on today on Instagram. All right? The Kempire on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads, all the places. All right? Bye, y'all.
Here we go now.